Welcome to Best Life 30, your 30-day journey to creating the best life possible for yourself. You can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the entire series for free and get the companion bonus worksheets that go with this video, check the link in the description below. All right, so today is day 21, and we're going to learn how you can make money from your ideas.
One of the things I saw a lot in my comments, because I read them all, was, well, I have no money. I'm like, I lived my whole life with no money, but I figured it out. I would just buy shit. I would buy garage sale shit. And it just got me going. I love it. It's like a hobby of mine to go garage sale.
I started doing that with clothes. I used to do that with clothes.
Dude, the amount, guys, especially like a stylish kid like you, like if you have flavor, if you're listening right now and you don't have money, but you're cool, or you got flavor, you got swag, you got style, if you just spend your life in Goodwill and in thrift stores and buy shit that you think is fresh and then wear it and take a selfie and put it on eBay for 3 times the price, or like I see every day, the amount of people that buy $3 t-shirts and sell them for $35 on eBay and Etsy and Facebook Marketplace is enormous. There's no excuse in America to say you have no money, even if you're in the deepest, poorest places, because if you can literally get $1, you can buy your first t-shirt at Goodwill and get it up for $15 on Facebook. Because you know what's funny? What's funny is everybody's got a smartphone. Like you go into the poorest places in America and everybody's got a smartphone, which means you have the internet. I mean, listen, the homeless, you've got people all over on homeless smartphones. I get emails every day. I'm homeless. I watch you on YouTube. So I don't know. And listen, of course there's 1% that don't. And that's what's always fascinating to me. The 1% that populates, like, what about my aunt? I'm like, cool, I get it. But I'm trying to address 99.9% of people. And the garage sale thing's been huge. By the way, huge. I have tens of thousands of tweets, emails, DMs, messages from people over the last 100 days who are completely inspired by the show and are making significant money. And significant comes in all forms. Do you know what it's like to make an extra $200 a month when you're not doing well financially? Huge. Like it matters. It's also fun for 50% of people. Like well,
I watch the videos and I'm watching you like go and you're picking up these stuffed animals. Do you know what this is going to sell for? $40, $50.
And $7 I get pumped. Like buying something for $0.25, selling it for $11 on eBay with the fees, with all the bullshit that everybody makes fun of me in the comments for. What about the gas? All that. Like, I'm still like, I made $6. I bought it for $0.25. I sold it for $11, net $6. Or I could be on my couch right now watching Netflix. Like, if you complain and you're unhappy, I will spend my career suffocating the living shit out of you. The thing about garage sale that really turns me on is the thrill of the hunt, because it's the place where you can really score. A huge box of toys for $3 worth $300.
How many cash can you normally carry on you?
Usually 400. Don't need that much. $15, $30. I don't know. Usually, truly, you only need about $100. This could be decent. It looks a little too new, but we're about to strike. There's striking to be done here. How much are the stuffed animals? 50 cents. Good. SpongeBob, maybe?
Oh, yes. Sam's got color. The Winnie the Pooh kind of got color.
How much is this?
What's a couple nowhere to be found, by the way?
All right, stuffed animals continue to be my score. 50 cents a pop. Dumbo, Disney Store. Snuffleupagus, Spang. Olaf, what? And this one's going to be a beast. The FAO Schwartz giraffe. So we just looked it up. The Jeffrey giraffe Toys R Us FAO Schwartz combo, $30. Paid 50 cents. I don't know what else to say. After eBay fees, it's just like a quick $20. Just a lot of people not making $20 an hour. And that's just one of the things. Wait till I look up the Snuffleupagus. Thank you so much. You got it? This is pretty exciting to me. Vintage Lego thing, never opened. 2003. Jesus, I'm getting old. But it's still 15 years old. I'm excited to open this up. This was a huge score. I already looked it up. Paid $3. They wanted $5, paid $3 for these Spider-Man skates in package. Never opened as well, or opened. Pretty excited about it. Oh, don't worry. That's so awesome by her. All right, let's go. Yeah, she goes, at least go around the corner.
Don't kill me.
So good. So good. Lego 4098. $25. Give it to me, Lily. All right, pay $2 for this. All right, cool. So some Macy's snow globes in there. And they are better than I think I thought.
You gonna go back and buy them?
Yep. Would you do 10 if I bought 3?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you have a bag?
I do have a bag.
Awesome. This is f***ing exciting. We just bought 3 snow globes for $10. And I'm fired up. I'm fired up, my guy. I'm fired up.
All right, how do you feel?
Feeling really good now. Starting to get hot. Getting some stuff now. Well over the $200 range, maybe a little bit more even. Feel much better.
$200 is a lot.
A whole lot when you need it. And like, it's probably more. We'll see.
What?
It says 2. Would you take $1 for this?
Sure.
Thanks. All right, picked up this Scary Bear for $1 called For Real from Tiger 2004. Let's see what it's worth. $20 all day. All day, $20.
You're shot, dude.
Who, me? Because I get more excited about this than like anything. Get an angle. Oh. All right, good, brother. Just picked up 2 jerseys for $2 a piece. Kevin Durant, Seattle Supersonics jersey, pretty rare, $2. Garnett, really nice one actually, stitched, Celtics, $2 each. We'll see. $64 for the Durant. I mean, paid $2. You saw there was a little bit of like shitty stains on it. I can clean that off. Just crazy. If I was really doing this,
Turn right to stay on
I'd make
Passaic Avenue.
I'd make $1,000 a week, easy. And if you like, on just Saturday, just working Saturday.
Yeah, I get that.
So, I mean, I genuinely think Goodwill, eBay, buying bulk on eBay, selling on Amazon, like, I just think this is the $100,000 a year thing for so many people making $30,000 to $60,000 a year. I feel phenomenal. This is the big final score. This is about $100 minimum. And now I know about Cherish Teddies. Now I'm a Cherish Teddies player. And every time you become more of a player of a new thing, look, this is very simple. Spent 40, 50, 20, $40, $50, easily now into the $500 or $600 range of resale. I just wish so many of you would do this. It's $400, $500, $600 every weekend. It's now 11:47, so we're 4 hours in. Little gas money, I get it, but like net, $200, $300, $400 every weekend. And if you don't want to be like tedious, because now you got to post and all this, cool, just throw up this huge collection of Cherish Teddies, $80, boom, quick little, $60 here. It adds up when you got groceries, when you got bills, when you got college loans, when you got rent, people sitting around dwelling. 85, 90% of this country working, minimum wages, low incomes. It just matters. Teaching people how to fish, flip life, it's real.
When you were, again, in the early days, at one point you only had 10 shirts. Mm-hmm. How did you utilize the power of Broke to get the word out?
So, when Jay Abraham, who, is really my mentor, he loves to say OPM is other people's manufacturing, manpower, marketing mentors, and you can make money off of other people's mistakes. And I took inventory of myself, and I knew I wanted to get into this area of business, but my inventory was that my liabilities were I knew nothing about manufacturing, but my assets were that everybody was shooting these little videos around the neighborhood. They weren't like these big Diddy videos at $1 million. I mean, this was like, guy with a little camcorder or something. And I knew that these people they needed clothing. And when they would have the Nike send stuff to them, Nike didn't appreciate them. Mm-hmm. So I would go to the set and see an LL Cool J, and I would sit on the set 18 hours. I get kick off with 3 or 4 of those sets. But the one time that somebody allowed me to put a shirt on them, I put a shirt on them, and then I would take it back. And I would keep putting on different wrappers and taking it back. And I made sure that I didn't dry clean these things. So they made sure they gave them back because they stink, right? So I knew that.
You gave some stanky ass shirts.
Yeah, I gave them some stanky ass shirts. You goddamn right. Now,
I love it.
But these videos started to rotate, and corporate America didn't understand the power of videos at that time. Yeah. And I started to become known as a huge clothing company. Meanwhile, I'm still a waiter in Baldwin, Long Island, and I have these 10 little stinky T-shirts in my basement. But I was doing something I loved. I would have went on those video sets for free. Yeah. I was talking to a video chick. I was eating the free food over there. I was watching Old Dirty Bastard, Be Old Dirty Bastard. So, I would have paid to be on those sets. Yeah. I was doing something I loved.
When LL Cool J and some famous artists started to wear your clothes, you were still full-time at Red Lobster.
I was full-time, because we've seen too many movies where it says, go balls to the wall, burn every bridge. Oh, by the way, other people's money, it's wreckable. That's bullshit, right? Totally. The bottom line is don't quit your day job, all right? Because, here's what was happening. As a waiter at Red Lobster, maybe I made $30,000 or $40,000, right? But if I did that, which I did for 5 years, and I would work my 60 hours at Red Lobster, then I'd put in another maybe 15 or 20 hours working on FUBU. But if I had to pay myself for those 5 years, that would have been $200,000. Now I'm $200,000. I had $200,000. I had medical. I was eating as many shrimp as I would like. I was using my network at Red Lobster to get things out of there. I was learning from the Red Lobster network of their corporation, their books on how they do business, and I was able to do my business longer and go through the pitfalls of it. And the business started to call me. I started to now work 20% on the business, 80% on Red Lobster. Then all of a sudden, 80% on the business and 20% there. But, all these people who hear all those stories about, take out large loans and just go for it, it's a lie. They should never do that.
So many people, they want these instant results, and it's like, it's not the way to do it.
They don't realize, listen, every overnight success has taken 15 years, and that's just the way it goes. And they've just watched too many people. You know who tells them all this? The people that are trying to take their money.
Yes.
The people that are trying to take your money work twice as hard. So they go, take this magic pill, you're going to lose weight. I'm going to educate you and just come to my seminar and buy a $100,000 pack. Those are the people that are full of crap, and other people out there who don't want to put in the work. Unfortunately, nobody's going to help you.
I went to Dallas after college because a bunch of my buddies were down there, and I got a job working as a bartender at night and was looking for a job during the day and got a job working for a retail software company. And this was in the early days of PCs, and was doing okay there. And then about 9 months in, I made, let me add, I was living 6 guys in a 3-bedroom apartment, and I was sleeping on the floor. It was the rattiest, nastiest hole you've ever seen in your life. I mean, and I literally didn't have a closet, didn't have a drawer. All my shit was in a pile on the floor. I had my one towel that I stole from Motel 6 that had a hole in it. That was mine. And so I was trying to grind it out and learn tech, which I really realized that I loved. And I one day I called up my boss, a guy named Michael Humecki, Humecki. And I said, Michael, I've got this deal I'm going to close. Now it's $1,500 commission to me, which meant I can move out of the show. And so I said, now one of my responsibilities was to open up the retail store, make sure the door was open, the floors were clean and all that kind of stuff. I said, look, I've got this big deal. I want to close it. And he said, no, you need to be at the store. I'm like, I got someone to watch. He goes, no, you need to be at the store. So I made the executive decision that if I went and picked up a $15,000 check for this company, Your Business Software, he would see the light and all would be good. And I'd have my $1,500 commission. Fired my ass. Seriously, Michael Humecki. And so,
I'm assuming you've spoken to him since then.
One time, literally after Broadcast.com went public, he sent me a letter asking if I would invest in his company.
You should bring him on Shark Tank.
Anyway, so that was the only time I talked to Michael Humecki. And so he fired me. And so there I was, still in this hole with my one Motel 6 towel, and no bedrooms. And so it was then that we started Micro Solutions, and I had no money. And so I went to this company called Architectural Lighting, and I said, look, I got nothing, but I know you want this time in billing software. If you front me the $500, I'm going to start this company, and I promise you that I'll make it work. And if I can't make it work, I'll walk your dog, I'll wash, your car, I'll do whatever to make it up to you. Just trust me and give me the shot. They did. I took that $500, spent $250 on the software, got that to work really fast, and then asked for referrals and built this company that then went on to become one of the first companies that did local area network. This was the early 80s, and then went wide area networks. And as you said, we sold it to CompuServe. And along the way, I kept on reinvesting. And one day I went to the ATM and I had all zeros, which was not fun. But like you said, we ended up building it. We had $36 million revenue run rate and sold it to CompuServe, which was part of H&R Block. And, all was in alignment again. And it wasn't like I started it thinking, okay, if I fail, I don't care. It was purely out of necessity. I didn't know what else to do.
There's a design conference coming to San Francisco, and there's not a single place to stay in the city. And I'm looking around the apartment, seeing all the space in our living room, thinking, wait, there's all this extra space. What if we took an airbed out of the closet, we blew it up on the floor, and we hosted guests who needed a place to stay? I called up Brian and said, Brian, we're gonna throw airbeds on the floor. We're gonna host guests this weekend. We launched just in time for South by Southwest. And we had about 10 people list their place in Austin and a total of 2 reservations, one of which was Brian. So we were not met with success. It did not take off like a rocket ship. In fact, I would call it a miserable failure at that point. Well, we actually had 20 introductions to investors throughout Silicon Valley. 10 of those people replied to our email. 5 of them met us for coffee. 0 invested in Airbnb. And talk about a tough time. You've got some of the smartest people in the world. They've picked some of the most well-known companies that we all love and use today, from Googles and PayPals and YouTubes. And here they are telling us that our idea is crazy, that it's not going to scale, that people aren't going to stay in people's homes around the world. Kind of the world thought we were crazy. It was late one night in the kitchen. Brian and I are trying to keep our spirits up, and we're brainstorming crazy ideas like, what if we provided breakfast to go along with the airbeds of Airbed and Breakfast? It's the middle and the height of the political conventions and campaigns, so we thought, well, let's make them politically themed. We'll call one Obama O's The Breakfast of Change. We'll call the other Cat McCain's Maverick in Every Bite. One thing led to the other. We ended up making cereal boxes and selling them online for $40 a box. We ended up making $20,000 on breakfast cereal. So, little known fact, the Obamas not only got us to 0, like that's something to be proud of, we got it to 0, but we then got introduced to Paul Graham. Phone rings. It's Paul Graham. He's calling to tell us that we've been accepted to Y Combinator. And so what we later found out is that the reason that Paul let us in wasn't because he thought our idea was amazing. He actually thought it was kind of weird. He let us in because he saw that with the breakfast cereal, we could figure out how to do anything. And that's how we got into Y Combinator. It's our very first office hours with Paul Graham. He's looking at Brian, Nate, and I, and he goes, so where's your market? And we kind of look at each other and we're like thinking to ourselves, we don't really have a market. No one's using our service. But there are some people in New York who are renting out their homes. And Paul goes, so your customers are in New York City and you're here in Mountain View. Go to New York City. We pull up the 20 hosts and search results and we realize something, that the photography, the images of their listings are actually not very good. So we kind of have this realization, we can solve that problem. We know how to take a good photo, but it's not scalable. That's the thing, is that up until this point, we had tried to solve problems in a scalable way, which I think I would call like some of the mythology of Silicon Valley, is that you have to solve problems in a scalable way. That one line of code has to meet the needs of hundreds, tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands, or maybe millions of people. So Paul Graham comes along and basically gives us this message, which was the single greatest piece of advice we ever got. Go meet your people. Do things that don't scale. It'll teach you. You'll learn from it. So we fly to New York that weekend. We rent a camera with a wide-angle lens, and we go from door to door throughout Manhattan and Brooklyn. So here we are in the environment of our customers, now watching them use our product in real time. and we're seeing a lot of things that we didn't know were problems. We got so close that we got to step into their shoes for a moment and see the world through their eyes and really see the pain points that they were feeling. And that, to me, is like, that's the basics of innovation. You take an enlightened, empathetic point of view for your customers, you combine it with your own unique point of view of the world to create something new. And you know what happened because of this? They started using the word love in the same sentence as Airbnb. They started telling their neighbors, their friends, their family members, their coworkers. And so two things started to happen simultaneously. The amount of choice started to go up, and the quality of that choice went up as well. And when a new host came to the site, they said, oh, well, I guess I need to have really nice photos to be in the part of this marketplace. And we started to see the number of reservations go up. For any entrepreneur out there, like, you can't take no for an answer. You know, we had really smart, credible people telling us no. And had we listened to them, there might not be Airbnb today.
When I first met Warren back in 1959, I recognized immediately that he was a very intelligent person.
For the last 4 or 5 years, the stock market has been booming along and presumably forecasting better business, which has really not materialized. So maybe the stock market is really correcting a previous incorrect forecast this time rather than making a new correct one.
He'd made a lot of money buying thinly traded securities that were incredibly cheap statistically.
Warren was at that time dealing with small companies, and his investments often were to buy a company that you could figure was a discarded cigar butt, but it had one more smoke in it. And he wanted to buy at the right time to be able to benefit from the one smoke.
The first partnership started with $105,100. I put up the 100 and the other people put up the 105,000. And then at the start of 1962, I moved to Kiewit Plaza. And by the time I moved to Kiewit Plaza, we had $7 million invested, and a fair amount was profits. I was then renting a house. I never owned a house to that point. And then 2 years later, I bought the house I live in today in 1958.
People often think, you know, well, Warren Buffett was this famous rich guy. He was not famous and he wasn't rich when we were growing up.
What I saw first and foremost, day in and day out, was consistency. Every day we'd hear the garage door close in the house. And then, like clockwork, my dad would come in the door, I'm home, and we'd all eat dinner together, which I think surprises a lot of people.
You were a frustrated consumer. I was. And you decided to try to solve a problem. What was the problem you were trying to solve?
Well, I couldn't figure out what to wear under white pants. And I was a frustrated consumer. The undergarment options at the time were not great, right? We had underwear that left a panty line, girdles that were really thick and uncomfortable. And then they invented the thong, which just put underwear exactly where we had been trying to get it out of. So, so I was like, yeah, no. And listen, at the time that I invented Spanx, and for the guys in the audience or some of the ladies who don't know what Spanx is, it's just, I invented an undergarment that filled the gap between traditional underwear and those heavy-duty shapers. And I was interested in giving women a smooth canvas. Like, I love clothes, I love, you know, to be able to wear them, but just like a painter, if you don't have the right canvas, it affects the whole painting. And the options weren't great, and they could be seen, they left lines, they left bulges. So that's what caused me to invent the first product, which was the first ever Spanx, the footless pantyhose. I actually really manifested the idea. So, you know, it's like everyone's always like, how did you take an idea and then start a business? Well, it's how did you even come up with the idea? You know, I was in search of my idea. And at the time, my life was not great. I was selling fax machines door to door. I was living with my mom. I was like 25 years old. And I remember after a whole entire day of being kicked out of office complexes again all day, or sometimes my business card ripped up in my face, I pulled off the side of the road one day, Kathy, and I was like, I'm in the wrong movie. Like, what just happened? Call the director, call the producer. This is not my life. This is not my movie. And I went home that night and I wrote down my strengths or what I thought I was good at. And the only thing in the good column really was sales. And I thought, okay, well, I know I'm good at selling. What is it I like about selling? And I realized I like offering something to someone that they need or didn't know that they needed that can improve their life or help them. And so in that moment, I wrote down in my journal, I want to invent a product that I can sell to millions of people that will make them feel good. And and you know what? And 2 years later, the idea came to me. And I was ready for it. You know, women had been cutting the feet out of their pantyhose for a long time. And I only did it one time, but I had already asked the universe for my idea. And I said, when it comes, I will not squander it, and I will take it and run with it. I called Neiman Marcus around the corner of my apartment in Atlanta, and I said, hi, this is Sarah. I've got a product I want to come show you. And the lady kind of laughed and said, well, we have a buying office, and that's in Dallas. I said, oh, okay. So I hung up, and I called the buyer. And from my cold calling days, I knew I'm not going to leave a message. I'm going to keep calling until this woman answers the phone. So the second she answered the phone, I took a very deep breath. I was so scared, and I said, hi, this is Sarah Blakely, and I've invented something that's going to completely change the way all of your customers wear clothes, and I'll fly to see you if you'll give me 5 minutes. And she just kind of took a pause, and she goes, well, where do you live? I said, Atlanta. She goes, all right, if you're willing to fly here, I'll give you 10 to 15 minutes. So I jumped on a plane and I went to the Neiman Marcus headquarters. Before I went, I was, my few friends, I had my lucky red backpack. They stopped me in my tracks. I had my closest friends, they go, Sarah, please, they were pleading with me. Please don't bring that red backpack to the Neiman Marcus headquarters. I mean, this was my old backpack from college. It was dirty and, They said, do anything. You can't bring that red backpack. I mean, if you need to, go buy a Prada bag. Return it the next day. I mean, whatever you need to do. But don't bring that red backpack. Well, I took a very deep breath. I said, you know what? This is my good luck charm. I got to bring it. So there off I went with the Ziploc bag in the backpack, the color copy of the packaging. I went to the Neiman Marcus headquarters. I'm sitting in front of this buyer that was the most impeccably dressed woman I'd ever seen in my life. I mean, even her pen matched her outfit. I was just... And I was shaking. I had my red backpack on the floor, and I started going into my spiel, and I knew I wasn't really making a ton of sense, and so halfway through it, I go, you know what? You just have to come with me to the bathroom. She's like, excuse me? I go, I know, it's a little weird, but just please come with me to the bathroom. I'm gonna do my own before and after for you, and then you'll get it. So we walk down the hallway, in total silence. I'm like, I can't believe this. I go into the stall, I have on the white pants that caused me to invent it. I come out with the Spanx on. I turn around, I'd just shown her what it looked like without the Spanx on, and she took a step back and she goes, I get it. And then she goes, it's brilliant. And then she said, I'm gonna give you a shot. I'm gonna put you in 7 stores. But I cold called Neiman's, Saks, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, QVC. I was out on the road, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake. They think once you get the order, you're golden. And that couldn't be any farther from the truth. Once you get the order, that's when the real work starts. I was absolutely determined to ensure my own success, and I think that's what it takes. I didn't want my success to be contingent on anyone else having to sell this. So I hit the ground running, and I went from department store to department store, and I would do morning rallies at the store where I would gather people around. Well, the store manager said, Sarah, you can do it with the hosiery associates. Well, I'd travel all the way to Arizona, and there'd be 3 hosiery associates. So I quickly was like, I gotta get the whole store at this morning rally. So I would go into the entrance before the store opened, like a Neiman's or a Saks or a Bloomingdale's, and I would run around and introduce myself to every employee setting up their station. I'd say, hi, I'm Sarah. And I would try to convince them that it would be worth their time to come see my morning meeting. And I got everybody there. I had taken the Oprah clip and a little bit of local press I'd received and put it on a video and did that in my morning rally. And it was such an important thing that I was doing. I inadvertently was building a sales force that wasn't on my payroll, and they all across the country became my biggest advocates for the product and started selling it on behalf of Spanx and me.
Everybody is chasing the next thing, the next big thing, the next shiny object. When what I do or what my students do is we are using the oldest ways to make money. See, most people, they're looking at it, yet they're stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. What I'm talking about? I'm talking about the good old telephone. That's right, the good old phone. Simple tool to make $100 a day. Let me share my business model with you, my formula with you. The very same formula that I teach all my students across the world, the high ticket closing methodology. Here's how it's gonna work. Imagine this. There are companies out there. Nowadays, it costs more than ever to acquire customers. So most companies, you notice there's advertising is costing more money than ever because it's more competitive than ever in the marketplace. So a lot of companies, when they are selling any kind of product, most product under $200, most of the time, those are what I call the initial product, that they are using those products in the marketplace. Companies, entrepreneurs, they're selling these products hopefully to develop a relationship with a customer. It's to break the wallet and just start the relationship, start the conversation. All the money is made after that $200 is spent. When they realize, hey, you know what, once my customer trusts our brand, trusts our company, now we can follow up with them and offer them other products and services that are at the $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $25,000 or more. That's where the money is made. Here's the problem. Those offers, I refer them as high ticket offers. $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, $50,000. Those sales, they need to be closed on their phone. Very rarely people buy something at that kind of price point looking at a video or just looking at a website. They need to have that one-on-one conversation. So what does that have to do with you? That's where you come in. Imagine this. Let's say you are closing for a company or you're closing for an entrepreneur. Let's say their offer is $1,000. And if you're a good closer, you have good closing skill, they are willing to pay you $100, which is 10% of the sale, 10% commission. That's $100. So I want you to think about it. If you're closing some of these packages, some of these products and services, $1,000, you make $100 a sale, that's $100 a day. All you need to do is what? To make one single sale a day. That's it. One single sale a day, you get your $100. What is your cost? Zero. How many websites you have to build? Zero. How many products you have to buy? Zero. Why? Because you're not selling your own products, you're not selling your own offers, you're selling other people's offers. The company, the influencer, the entrepreneur, they are doing all the marketing. They're doing all the lead generation. They're driving all the traffic. They are building the funnel. They are creating content. They're writing a blog. They're creating videos. They're doing the press release. They're doing 90% of the work, but yet they don't make the money until someone like you and me get on the phone and close those high ticket sales. This is one of those very rare skills that you can make your $100 a day with no expense and no overhead. Now, you may be thinking, well, Dan, are you talking about being like an annoying telemarketer? Does that mean I have to cold call people? Does that mean I have to do a lot of prospecting? Oh my God, like I can't do that. I'm a shy person. I'm not very talkative. It's not about none of that shit. I am talking about talking to people who have put up their hand. I'm talking about talking to prospects who have gone through a series of steps, who have filled an application form and then book a time to speak with you as a high ticket closer, and then you close those sales. That's what I teach. Zero cold calling, has nothing to do with building a website. You don't have to do anything online, and you don't have to cold call a single person. That's the power of high ticket closing.
Okay, how do I make money online? People always ask me how I make money, and I thought I'd just show you some actual screenshots on my phone on different products, different businesses I have. Here's today, one of my companies here, $17,384 today alone, made